Hi, Joanna Hodorowska here, Nutrition in Motion. Nutrition for body, mind, spirit, and sport. So a lot of questions that I get are about what do I eat the week before my race and what do I eat really the couple days before. And a lot of my clients do a lot of reading, and sometimes I just kind of have to say you can't listen to everything that you read because a lot of these things are based on generalizations and it's not really addressing you in particular. And when I'm working with my clients doing the Eat to Compete program, it is really about designing a nutrition plan specifically for you and finding out what to do during your race week and all the weeks leading up to the race, as well as what to do the morning of, the night before, and obviously during the race as well, so that there's nothing to guess except for how well you're going to feel the day of. So some of the misconceptions, and these are the three basic ones that I have come across. And the first one is carb loading. So most of what I teach is about balancing the blood sugar and doing some metabolic efficiency work so that your body actually starts burning fat stores for energy rather than sugar stores. If you do carb loading, you are going to be switching the mechanism basically into sugar burning, and you are going to need more calories during your event, more calories and more intake of carbohydrates, and you are going to increase the likelihood of GI distress. We don't want that during your event. So basically you're just going to be eating your normal way. If you've been restricting your carbs and trying to do, let's say, 100 grams a day, your body's probably burning fat more than it is burning sugar, but you don't want to increase it to 400 grams a day for a couple days just because somebody wrote that you need to carb load for a couple days and then taper off the day before. You really just want to eat your normal way and increase a little bit of the carbs. So maybe you're getting 150 or 200 grams of carbohydrates from fruits, root vegetables, grains that don't cause GI distress, and fruit, so that you are getting the optimal glycogen stores topped off. But you don't have to go and do 400 grams a day. You just need, more than what you're doing right now. And you don't want to avoid the carbs. You just want to make sure you include them with breakfast, lunch, and your snack in the afternoon and for dinner. Then the next thing is, if you're going to be avoiding wheat, and you have been avoiding wheat for several weeks or several months, now is not the time to add it back in. It's kind of known as the athlete's food, have a pasta dinner. But if pasta doesn't agree with you, then it's not going to be a good choice. And you've already done this in training where you know what's working and what's not. Maybe potatoes are better. Maybe quinoa is better. Maybe rice is better. Just do what you're normally doing. And if you're avoiding the wheat, then don't introduce it back in. But if you're continuing to eat wheat and you haven't seen that there's a problem, don't change it now because it's not going to make that big of a difference. So you've always been testing what you're going to be doing for your training. Don't play around with it the 2 days before. And then the other thing that I find to be a big misconception is to eliminate the fiber. And that's something that's been going around for many years, is go on a low fiber diet, 2-3 days before your event. Well, I've tried that before, and it was before the Nationals, USCT Nationals, I think in Oklahoma or in Alabama. I can't remember now. But they did not have any green vegetables with dinner, so I just had the pasta because I was still eating pasta at the time. And all I ended up with is with constipation. That was just not a comfortable feeling for an Olympic distance race. And if you're going to be doing an Ironman and you're going to eliminate all those green vegetables which have all your calcium and magnesium, you're robbing yourself of some of the minerals that are going to be causing cramps later on in the event. But you're also just going to get all plugged up, and that is just not a good idea. So if your body is used to having fiber, then just continue using that fiber so that your system works the way you expect it to. The days before the race, as well as what you've tested in training. The last one is alcohol. Alcohol is one of those things where a little bit of alcohol with dinner. I mean, I always had a glass of wine with dinner the night before my race, and my best races were with a big piece of steak, baked potato, and a big half a plate of broccoli. And I always had a glass of red wine. Why? Because it just kind of took away the race day jitters. If I had more than that, that would be a problem. Same thing goes with beer. It might be carb loading, but it's going to have negative effects if you have more than just one glass. So keep those in mind, and don't do anything new race week. But if you need some help with figuring out what's going to work for you, that's where working with a nutritionist who understands racing as well as how foods affect you. Give me a call, Joanna Hodorowska, Nutrition in Motion, www.nutritioninmotion.net. Nutrition for body, mind, spirit, and sport.